Hi, folks. I'm Father Joe Grimaldi. You can call me Joe, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast. But now, here's our host and friend, Ken Calvert.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Calvert alongside the good Father Joe Grimaldi, and we would like to welcome you once again back to another exciting episode, if you will, of the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast. Well, this one is just for the friends of the Father Joe Grimaldi podcast. Going on right now at Hoot McInerney Star Lincoln, you can enjoy the opportunity to build your Lincoln. That's right. Visit our showroom in Southfield, Michigan, or simply log on to starlincoln.com. You can build your Lincoln Corsair. How about a Nautilus, the Aviator, or the beautiful Navigator? Experience the power of Sanctuary in your custom-ordered Lincoln vehicle. You pick the color, the interior, the wheels, and you can choose between gas or your plug-in hybrid. The benefits that come from owning a Lincoln-certified pre-owned vehicle will exceed your expectations. Hoot McInerney Star Lincoln, located on 12 Mile Road, just east of Telegraph, in beautiful Southfield. Or you can always visit us at starlincoln.com. Star Lincoln, home of the Father Joe Star treatment. Well, here we are now, just actually days away from Lent, and wait, I'm going someplace very special today.
Good.
I'm taking you on a road trip.
Wow.
Imagine, if you will, a car starting in the background.
Listening.
I've stopped the car. I'm in Hamtramck, Michigan. I'm in front of the New Palace Bakery.
Wow.
And look at the line around the bakery. Oh, my goodness.
And
they started lining up here, Father Joe Grimaldi, at probably midnight, 1 a.m.
The Paczki?
The Paczki. We are just days away from having our
Paczki fix.
Yeah. No one has just one. I want you to know, by the way, just talking about this, I'm salivating.
Oh, God. Does she have some waiting for you inside?
No, they have not started making the Paczki.
Oh, I've seen them at supermarkets.
Have you already?
Yeah.
Oh, heathens they are.
I know.
Heathens.
I know.
I can't believe that, but everybody now. It used to be when I was a little guy, I remember my dad would actually go into Hamtramck, Michigan, which at the time was a major area for the Polish. I think at the time, 100% Polish community.
Right.
We would get the Paczki, which is an oversized donut. Well, here, let me do this. What is the difference between a donut and a Paczki? Fill with your favorite fruit preserve and roll in sugar. Then serve on Paczki Day, Fat Tuesday, or March 1st. The difference between these and a basic donut is that the Paczki is made with a very rich, sweet yeast dough consisting of eggs, butter, and milk. Sort of like a brioche donut, only better. Oh, imagine the Paczki. I happen to like kind of like a strawberry jam jelly Paczki rolled in that wonderful sugar.
If I'd known, I would have brought you some.
Well, but
I saw them just the other day, but go ahead.
I don't want to ruin it now. I like to wait until,
Yeah.
Fat Tuesday. Here's my question for you. You've been around the world. Fat Tuesday is the day before Lent.
Correct.
And it's a day to sort of go all in because, as we've been saying for years on this podcast, a lot of people will give up something they really enjoy.
Sure.
40-day punishment, if you will.
But you're looking forward to something you do enjoy.
That's right. Now, your travels have taken you all around the world, and of course the United States, Hawaii. You've seen a lot of Fat Tuesdays in your lifetime. Let's talk a little bit about the various areas and what they do. We, of course, lean heavily on the Paczki. In the United States, has Fat Tuesday always been a big deal?
Oh, definitely. Not necessarily Paczki, because they have jelly donuts. Yeah, they call them jelly donuts, so they don't.
But you can always get a jelly donut 365 days a year.
But they don't call them Paczkis.
Okay, but I can't stop thinking about the Paczki. The Paczki is probably available in any city that has a large Polish population. Yeah, right?
Detroit and anywhere there's a big Polish population.
Oh, okay. All right. Chicago would have the Paczki.
Oh, you bet your life. They would.
They would have the Paczki. And New York, yes, more Irish.
Of course there are, but they have their own little pockets.
Yeah,
and,
they have every pocket. I mean,
but I mean, if they have any people from Poland, at least second generation or more, the first or second generation, I think they would know about that, and they would do it, and they would certainly celebrate it.
Well, I was just going to say that if you see something like, and I know that they've done a deep dive into it now, and I'm talking about our friends at Kroger. If you don't have a chance to get downtown, or rather into Hamtramck, which is very nearly downtown Detroit, I believe the caloric intake of a normal, well, there is no such thing as a normal Paczki, a raspberry Paczki, for example, I'm guessing rolling about 450 calories, maybe more, maybe a little less, probably 25% fat, your daily intake. They're heavy. I think that one Paczki is gonna deliver about
a big Paczki.
It's gonna deliver a knockout Paczki. In Hawaii, what did they do on Fat Tuesday? Was there anything special about?
Well, Fat Tuesday, of course, didn't I have you in class for French?
Yeah, yes.
We knew Mardi Gras.
Yes, that's
Fat
right.
Tuesday.
Yep.
But anyway, the whole idea is to consume anything that would be interesting, I call it. You consume all of the meats and you consume whatever's in your freezer just to make sure that you're not tempted the rest of Lent to take those foods and eat them. And so they consumed all the good stuff that they had. I don't remember there being an emphasis on the sweets as much. Uh-huh. I think Louisiana does. Louisiana has something that's interesting. The King's Cake, which they make around Fat Tuesday. Basically, you cut into the cake, and it goes around. Everybody gets a piece of this cake at the table. And if you happen to bite into the little Christ child,
oh yeah,
then you have to host the dinner the next year.
Oh,
so it's one of those, and I think they do it for Fat Tuesday as well. But as far as sweets are concerned, I don't know.
Well, I think it might be because of the fact that so many people like sweets, and that
but it's the hot cross bun, and that's American, I think, isn't it?
The hot cross bun? I have never heard of a hot cross bun. What is that? Is that unique to Louisiana?
No. That would be universal in the sense that it's a special bun. There's a bit of sweetness to it, and it's maybe it has a white frosting in the form of a cross.
Yeah,
on
well,
top.
the cinnamon roll is a good roll. The cinnamon, those folks make a nice.
So maybe that's what they're calling it for Easter. I remember getting those for Lent.
There used to be something called sticky buns. Have you ever heard of a sticky bun?
Oh, sure, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, mission accomplished as soon as you have.
Yeah, but these rolls were just for the day before Ash Wednesday.
With cancel culture, we've got to be careful. We should probably come up with a new name for Fat Tuesday. It should probably be... Oh, boy.
Well, that's why people use the French name. Mardi Gras, that's what that is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, that's a great idea.
Because a lot of people don't know it's French. It's just Mardi Gras. Oh, yeah, I know Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Marty and his wife, Sally, great people. We did dinner with the Gras just 3 weeks ago.
Just 3 weeks ago.
He's
that's
cheap.
Great.
He's very, very cheap. The Gras are not big tippers.
No.
I'm always embarrassed as heck when the check comes. Anyway, I wanted to get into this because we're not always, but we tend to get a little serious about the topics sometimes. So we normally talk about something that, has some serious fabric to it. But I thought today what we would do, with just a few days left before Lent, we're talking about various things that go on Mardi Gras, the Tuesday before our first day of Lent, which is March 2nd. And so, but Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, call it whatever. that is the day when people usually live it up. And, of course, we all know that because of the fact that if you just watch any of the B-roll at night on your news, you see what's happening in New Orleans. Not to mention the beads and the booze, hijinks, shenanigans, et al. And they just go crazy. They just have their parades, their costumes, all bets are off. They just go crazy. Whereas here in Michigan, especially in the Detroit area, we value our punchki. And I would say by 10 o'clock on Fat Tuesday Eve, you never want to see one again. you never want to see one of those things again. They weigh about 2 pounds. So those of you that are not from our area, that is what a punchki is. In Hawaii, we were starting to talk about that. Did they do anything special in Hawaii?
Well, see, the Mardi Gras has become iconic in so many ways, more so than they don't even know why they're doing it, but they do it. But on the island of Maui, the Mardi Gras is unbelievable, and they were having a lot of problems because of the drinking that goes on in the street. Their Mardi Gras is celebrated right to the nth degree. I'm not sure they know why they're celebrating it, but they do.
Right.
And the other thing is the iconic one has just been moved, which I think is interesting. That's Rio de Janeiro, and that is the world famous Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's where, as they used to say, let it all hang out.
Completely, morally as well as...
Absolutely, yeah.
And so it's been postponed to the spring because of COVID.
I'm pretty sure that New Orleans. Well, I do know this. In 2021, New Orleans officially canceled Mardi Gras and the parades due to COVID-19 and probably the Delta variant at that time, huh? And this year, the city is moving ahead with plans for major parades on Fat Tuesday, March 1st. Slight changes, and of course, they'll be watching whatever variant is out there for us next. And there's one, I think, called the BA.2 or something like that. But please, no more COVID. No more COVID talk. What about Rome? What do they do? What do they do in Rome, Italy?
I lived in Rome.
What do they do on Fat Tuesday?
Oh, the parade is unbelievable.
Is it really? No kidding.
It's in it, they have some obscene type of people participating in the parade, dressed as nuns and priests and brothers and so on, doing various.
Yeah.
So it's not the place, but anyway, it's a very, very popular thing. There's a number of cities throughout the world where they do celebrate Mardi Gras, but I'm not sure they know why they're celebrating it. Originally, of course, was the idea that you better get all the fun out of your system now.
That's exactly right.
Because then you start, I don't think they even know that anymore. It's become a popular feast that they do this parade. And so, as the generations move on into the future, we're starting to lose meanings for what we used to do years ago.
Surely.
And I think that's what might be happening even with Mardi Gras. What is this Mardi Gras? That doesn't make any sense. But we do have a big parade.
You're right about that. I would say that conservatively, 1 in 3 has a real solid understanding of why we have this thing called Mardi Gras. In other words, I'm looking at somebody riding downtown today with 4 other passengers in the vehicle, and it's like, "Going to get your punchkis, Bob?" "Oh, you bet. Always get the punchkis." How did that come about? And I bet you 4 out of 5 would go, "Well, it's punchki day." No, it's all part of that Mardi Gras thing that they do. That Mardi Gras thing. What's Mardi Gras? It's the thing that they do. It's a party. It's a thing.
Right.
It's when do they have that?
The beginning of spring.
And then finally somebody says, "Hey, guys, I'll tell you this story. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a day called Ash Wednesday, and that was the beginning of Lent. And the day before that was called Fat Tuesday, ergo Mardi Gras. And the rest, well, it's history. Parades and ballyhooing and noisemakers and beads.
Of course.
And parades. And I got to tell you that probably more people with hangovers on Ash Wednesday than any other day of the year, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I would say it certainly matches a lot of others, yeah.
I would bet that it runs a second only to New Year's Day. That'd be my guess. But what do they say? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's always good to have a little fun before the sun comes up on Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, and I just want to say this, though, is that one thing does happen that's interesting. I would say that Ash Wednesday attracts a very, very large number of people. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if, you know how they call the Christmas and the Easter crowds the lilies and the poinsettias.
Right.
They're the ones that come to church on those days, and they make the church look full because they're packed. Well, I think there's 2 other days people come when they get freebies, as it were. They get ashes and palms.
And palms, yeah.
So it's like those are the 2 days that the church is full, even though it's not a Sunday and so on and so forth. They all want to be able to have that red badge of courage, if you want, the ashes on their forehead as they walk through the city and so on and so forth.
You know, it's funny you would say that because I worked at a radio station, and this one girl that I worked alongside for years and years, every Ash Wednesday, and I'm talking about perfect. You know, some people just get the thumbprint.
Yeah.
You know, the priest that was in a hurry.
Yeah.
Other people get like the really, it's almost like they cut in the lines when they got back to work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Well, I said to Luann, Luann, where do you go to church? And she goes, oh, I don't go to church. I only go to church today. She said, I got tired of coming in here and everybody had ashes, so I thought I'd better stop and get them. So, I mean, it was like, well, you know, honesty looks very good on you.
Yeah.
But it's, by the way, the other thing that I got to tell you something. You were the first person to ever mention this to me. I wasn't aware of the fact that other churches, our friends, the Episcopals and the Lutherans and others, they do ashes too. So I thought that was a Catholic thing, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the originators are, but...
we liked it, so we went with it.
Yeah.
Father Grimaldi, I know I'm out of bounds and out of line here, but I'm going to ask you to bless the great Polish Paczki. Yes, this great pastry that is filled with raspberry and rolled beautifully in sugar. Oh, we can't do that.
Well, let me pray for this first.
Okay.
This is written...
This is serious. No, I'm
Colleen Hansig, I think, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She wrote this, and I thought it was very beautiful because it's about where we stand now with this whole COVID situation. And I call it COVID. It's generic because I'm told there are about 300 variants that people don't even know about. And they're all over the place. And so here we are. Loving Creator, we asked for strength, and you gave us difficulties to make us strong. We asked for wisdom, and you gave us problems to solve. We asked for prosperity, and you gave us purpose and brains to use. We asked for courage, and you gave us fears to overcome. We asked for patience, and you gave us situations where we were forced to wait. We asked for love, and you gave us troubled people to help. We asked for justice, and you called us to be just and lead with integrity. Lord, we have received nothing that we asked for or wanted, and yet we receive everything that we needed. For this, we give you thanks. Amen. And God bless you all. This is Father Joe Grimaldi, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Father Joe Podcast.
We'd like to remind you to share the Father Joe podcast with your friends. You can reach Father Joe at frjoepodcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on Facebook or say, Alexa, play the Father Joe podcast. We look forward to seeing you next time.